Should private ownership of handguns be phased out in Canada?
I don't actually think so, because they're all licensed already. People at the police know everybody who has a handgun already. The problem with that particular topic is most of the handguns that are used illegally are not licensed handguns. They're handguns that are smuggled in.
I'm not sure if they should be phased out because I guess on some level there is a right to protect yourself, and if it is becoming more common, some people might be more comfortable if they have the same weapon as someone who might hurt them. But on the other side, other people are concerned about people having guns and being jumpy with them and maybe think, oh, that person could be hurt. I have a gun, I'll go protect them, and then they misinterpret something and end up really getting themselves in trouble. So I can see both sides. I don't think I would get rid of it because I don't think that's a little bit unfair, but regulate it definitely.
Given the amount of violence that we're seeing within our cities, I feel like it's something that needs to be phased out. We have to have a bigger trust in our police force, whether that's going against some of the budget cuts that we've seen against a lot of our police force, but I don't think there is a reason for anyone to own a private handgun within Canada.
Absolutely. I don't really see any need for anybody to own a handgun. I say that as somebody whose father has one because he goes to a shooting range. It's still not something I agree with. It's not something I see as a necessity and a need. It's something that I see the downside far outweighs any benefit to anybody who has one as a hobby.
I'm not a big handgun person. I don't like guns. I don't like violence. We're not, if I can say this, in the U.S. where everyone has the right to bear arms, but it comes to a point as to safety, and there's too much violence on the streets that people are worried about whether they can walk down a sidewalk without being hurt.
100%. I just think for the safety, sometimes they get in the wrong hands. Sometimes they get. I know that you're trying to say they lock them up, they lock the bullets up in different places, but I think it's been proven that crime right now is definitely, obviously on the rise in regards to people during tough times. I know that during economic times, and I know you're going to say that they can easily get a weapon off the streets anywhere they can, but and the ones that are registered are going to say I take care of my weapons, and I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do take care of it. But I just think that I don't think there's any need for guns.
Yes, we should not. Honestly, we don't want to turn into the United States here. We want to stay as we are as Canadians. We totally should ban handguns just simply because I think what's going on in the world today, and you have a lot of youth who don't have the experience, and then they're exposed to a lot of music that they call gangster music. It encourages the youth to see the world from a different perspective. And I think if they take that lifestyle as an example, and if you don't have strong laws to, ban the guns and make sure people don't just get their hands on one easily, it can turn chaotic in the country.
I think everything should be registered. Everything should be registered. The guns are coming across the border easily, obviously. We're seeing that in the last disasters of, but I think we should try to keep control of our arms and what hands they're being placed in. Maybe, a little further investigation in who's purchasing them.
I don't think there's a lot of need for handguns. If someone uses them for sport and they register them, I'm okay with that, but there's not that many people doing that. So there's not a lot of need for them.
Never. I've always owned rifles. I've owned handguns in the past. And it's always the same thing. They keep hammering and hammering more and more laws on people who are doing nothing wrong in the hopes that the people that are doing something wrong will be tempted to create less criminal activity, and it never works that way.
But I think more bad things come from private ownership of handguns, other than if you're a target shooter. I understand the sport, that's fine, but I don't think, especially in Canada, that one needs that kind of firepower to protect themselves.
I don't think that's a good idea. You see, like how many crimes happens in U.S. because they allow people to have guns.
I think so. I don't know if you can phase it all out, but you know, I think the less handguns available, I should say handguns. Handguns, yes. Rifles, net for hunting, no. But I think handguns should be.
From everything I've heard about private gun ownership, I know people are going to hate me for saying this, but yeah, I don't like it. So yeah, I would like them banned.
I believe the majority of our firearms are smuggled across the southern border from the U.S. anyway, especially illegal ones. Whether or not it would work, I mean, there'd be pushback. It probably needs to be done on a longer time frame.
I've never owned a gun or any weapons like that. I don't have any need for one. So for me personally, I don't see why anybody would have to own one unless they're doing security or something like that. Unless things got so crazy that we weren't safe, but I feel safe, so I don't see the need to have them.